On October the 21st, 1983, Michelle Buckingham vanished from the rural Victorian town of Shepparton. Michelle was just 16 years old at the time of her disappearance, and she was last seen walking towards Straley's Caravan Park, after spending the day at the pub with her friends. The bright and bubbly teenager wasn't reported missing for about a week, as her parents, Elvira and Jeff, were divorced and they both assumed she was staying at the other one's house. Then about 2 weeks after her disappearance, a farmer found Michelle's badly decomposed body dumped in a roadside drain near Violet Town Road, Keilor. She had been stabbed at least 19 times. The teenager was still clothed in the jeans and Mickey Mouse jumper that she was wearing on the day she was last seen. The murder sent shockwaves through the close-knit regional town, and the local police launched a massive investigation to find her killer. Listen, how they found Daniel Morecambe's killer. Post continues after audio. But Michelle's family would not get answers for another 32 years. Despite initially honing in on a suspect, the case quickly went cold. It was only reopened in 2012 when Tammy Mills, a young reporter at the Shepparton News, decided to look into it. Mills spoke to Michelle Laurie and Emily Webb on the Australian True Crime podcast about her involvement in solving Shepparton's biggest cold case. Determined, the young reporter wrote a letter to Michelle's mum asking her permission to write about the case so Michelle's murder, and her life, wouldn't be forgotten. She then got in touch with Ron Idles, the homicide detective who opened and headed the cold case division in Victoria for many years. After a little bit of convincing, Idles decided to take on the case. I kept telling her we didn't have the staff or resources to work on it, but she kept calling me and kept asking questions. Eventually I agreed to reopen the case, and that if she wrote about it, any leads would be followed up, Idles told John Sylvester at The Age. Mills wrote a comprehensive 5-day series about Michelle for the local newspaper, and within a week a lead emerged. All up, police received 30 tips from the public. But Idles' interest was piqued by one man who agreed to meet him at the Shepparton East Football Club. The man's name was Norman Gribble, and he had been keeping a secret for 3 decades. A photo of Michelle's mum, Elvira, in the newspaper pushed him to finally come forward. Gribbles told Idles that his brother-in-law, Stephen James Bradley, was responsible for the crime. On the day after Michelle disappeared, Bradley came to see Gribble, bloody and anxious, and told him he had been involved in the murder of a young girl. "I have killed someone," he allegedly told him twice. For almost 30 years Gribble kept his secret, fearful that he would lose his wife and children, but by 2012 he was ready to talk. During Idles' interrogation of Bradley, he admitted to murdering Michelle, after she refused to have sex with him. He named 2 other men who were allegedly involved in the murder, but they've never been charged due to a lack of evidence. Bradley claimed that one of the men stabbed Michelle at the back of the